Yes, a machine gun against a Sherman tank. Yes! Oh, Star Wars, of course. The Germans are still running! And if I remember correctly, 75% of US casualties during World War II were against the Germans. Actually, this scene would have been more entertaining if they actually faced zombies. Welcome to History Legends, and in this video I'll do a step-by-step analysis of the last stand in the movie Fury. So many of you kept bombarding me on Instagram as of when I would release this video. The time has come. And if you're new to this channel and need more background story, make sure to watch parts 1, 2, and 3. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And check out my unique veterans book, link in the bio. But before we start, let's check this little clip of the SS Battalion that Fury is about to face. From here we see a lot of Panzerfausts. Every second guy has an MG42 or a Panzerfaust. They seem very well equipped. They have an armored vehicle. And every second guy has ammunition or a machine gun or a Panzerfaust. Now I want you to compare the troops that you've seen in that little short clip with the ones that will face Fury in this battle. The only question is, why don't they fire now? They have a tank with a huge range. It's the moment to engage. Why wait until they're right there? Like, they're literally all packed together. Like I mentioned before, Germans were notorious for having scouts way ahead of the main group. Sometimes 1 kilometer ahead. Why? To avoid such situations. So you're telling me that this pathetic SS Battalion is somewhat of a threat to an entire US division, and all the US Army has in reserve is Fury. Now, one of the main problems I have is that the Germans walk in calm formation in the day. Where's close air support? Guess what? We're in April 1945. The Allies have complete control of the sky for a year now. Even in Normandy, the Germans did not dare to pull such a move. They only moved at night because they feared Allied aircraft, whose job was to hunt down exposed columns like that and obliterate them. But in this particular scenario, the US division that is in jeopardy could have called a few squadrons of Thunderbolts to attack and scatter this column. The Germans have one armored vehicle, no anti-air guns, they're fully exposed. They would have been clapped. Okay guys, he's literally yelling random German orders. Hollywood loves that when Germans are just screaming random stuff. I'm wondering what would have happened if they just passed along the tank. What? This guy clearly looks like the leader of a marching band. What is it with these weird arm motions? So he said Zweiter und dritter Zug, which basically means second and third platoon. That's it. They're literally just walking and he has to micromanage everything. Left foot, right foot. Now I wonder what would have happened in Fury if the Germans, instead of trying to go on the tank to see if it's actually destroyed, if they just had moved along. What would have happened? Now this guy that we have to assume is a captain, because he said platoons, he named platoons, goes to battle without his helmet, and he's literally fully exposing himself at the beginning of the column, making him a prime target. so silly. Okay, the German guy is literally saying, run to the ditch, take cover. But look at what they're doing. Beautiful script. They're literally running towards the tank. What are they doing? Why are they running towards the tank? Why are they running in the open and not towards the woods? They're running around like mindless sheep, asking to get slaughtered. For Hollywood, German soldiers are like a huge pack of cattle just running hectically without any intelligence. The officer literally said, let's take cover in that ditch. Yet, what happens? Nobody lays flat. They keep running. The machine guns are literally hacking them one by one. What's the point of including this line in the script if nobody does it? Yes, a machine gun against a Sherman tank. Yes! Of course. And the Germans are still running. What are they doing still running in that field? And did you notice? Now it's night. How does the crew from Fury see anything? Now I understand, it's a movie. But I find it very hard to watch because it's so illogical. I wonder why they showed us this scary German battalion before. And now what do we have? Nothing! Now it's at night. You don't see anything. Yet every time they fire, Germans die. And guys, remember, there was no night vision in tanks during World War II. Now this plan of staying inside a tank throughout the night is dumb. You don't see anything. And where I don't like this movie is that they showed us the Germans had dozens of Panzerfausts available. Every second or third guy had them. Now all of a sudden, they all disappeared. Okay, it's pitch black. Panzerfaust! Panzerfaust! Okay, where are they firing at? They can't see! Oh, Star Wars. Of course. The Germans are still running! So ridiculous. So ridiculous. They're still running! It's been like 3 minutes of intense firefight. Like, you know I'm very harsh about Fury, but it's actually sad. Fury had the budget and everything in order to be amazing. And that's the final result. The Germans are literally NPCs. American movies always portray the Japanese soldiers as tough and incredible enemies to beat, while the Germans are always a bunch of low IQ dumbasses. Honestly, just take a look at the top 10 deadliest US campaigns during World War II. 7 of them were against the Germans. And if we look at the top 3, it's even more compelling. Now these numbers are only for US forces. Number 3, the 1945 invasion of Germany, 15,000 killed. Lots of newbie replacements were sent on the front line after the Battle of the Bulge. Number 2, the Battle of the Bulge against the Germans. 19,000 killed. And number 1, the Battle of Normandy, again against the Germans. 29,000 killed. The hardest battles the US Army had to face were against the Germans. Why don't they portray this in movies? And if I remember correctly, 75% of US casualties during World War II were against the Germans. They're just firing at random, and every time Germans fall. For sure. Oh, now they're out of ammo. Wait, what? So these guys know they're about to fight a last stand, and that eventually ammo will run out. But where do they place the extra ammo? Outside. However, one interesting thing would have been to put two guys from the tank inside that farmhouse with a machine gun and cross fire at the German column and provide each other with mutual support. That way the guys from the farm make sure that no Germans with Panzerfaust get too close to the tank, and the tank also keeps anyone from that farmhouse. And such a move would also allow for a tactical retreat if necessary. But that's my little opinion. If you have a better idea, just comment below. The grease gun. The tankers loved it because it was more compact than the Thompson. Alright, it's gonna be hard. You have 300 Germans around you. Oh, yeah, right. Plot armor. The Germans stop firing. They see the hatch open, but they stop firing. Makes sense. And the thing is, the smoke blinds the Germans, but also blinds you. So, this doesn't make sense. How do they see? There's smoke around them. Oh, finally, a German NCO giving somewhat of orders. Diversity card, Mexican. Check. So at this point, the entire crew of Fury is exposed, but none of them become casualties. But dozens of Germans die like sheep. This scene is the dumbest one. So the Germans crawl up the tank, they have no weapons! And this guy dies from being thrown a rifle at. This is like Nazi zombies. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to bite him? This is literally Nazi zombies. They're just approaching carelessly, getting mopped up. Actually, this scene would have been more entertaining if they actually faced zombies. Because this is nonsense. Is it me or Fury has a lot from Inglourious Bastards? Even Brad Pitt's character is the same, but this time upgraded as a tank commander. But talking about this, there's a recurring problem with war movies in general. So you see, movie directors are artists before anything else. Now, instead of recruiting military experts and historians, what they'll often do is just watch other movies and get their inspiration from these, right? Problem is, the directors that made these movies didn't research shit either. Literally, this movie has all the stereotypes, one after the other. And the reason why I'm so harsh on Fury, it's because it was promoted as historically accurate, when it clearly isn't. If you read the articles, the headlines are misleading, because within the same articles, the veterans all say that Fury is nice, the visuals are nice, and it portrays comradeship pretty well. But this is where historical accuracy stops. They say everything else is BS. What? He's saying this because the Germans are charging a tank without any weapons. You can't ward the Germans now. You can't even hear them. They're not firing. Oh, but it's perfect for their little emotional connection. Oh, finally, Panzerfaust! He says, aim properly. These are the last ones we have. Where were you guys the entire time? And remember, guys, half the battalion had Panzerfausts. Literally just run around the tank. Fire, point blank. And. Okay, good. They can't see anything. Okay, this is why this entire plan was a bad idea. He missed! 2 of them! Oh my god! A third one? No! Oh my god, it's so bad. I can't take it anymore. Okay, let's just stop here. $70 million budget, and this is what we get. Now, I understand that no war movie will ever be 100% realistic, and that's okay. But at least make the actions of the characters logical. Make the entire script and scenario make sense. Now, the problem with Fury is that the battles don't make sense. I've covered that a lot already. But there's also 0 character development. And I understand that some of you find my reaction videos over the top. Oh, it's just war movies. My problem is that other war movies actually took the job seriously. And I will show these movies to you, so you can actually compare between good war movies and bad ones. But you know, it's not very different from your typical superhero movie. It's simply not fun to watch an overly powerful good guy. To make a memorable movie, you need to understand what is at stake with a memorable and intelligent villain. Just like Thanos, for example. We understand his point of view. We can even sympathize with his ideal. And the fight against him is hard, but it makes the final victory even more glorious. Now, you guys saw that I criticized Fury a lot. But it wouldn't be fair if I actually didn't recommend improvements that I believe would have made this scene better and more realistic. First of all, the idea that one tank is ordered to defend the rear of an entire US division is silly. So let's change it up. Fury is actually at the forefront of, let's say, a battalion. Then the crew is ordered to capture some random bridge, because the Germans are blowing all the bridges on the river and the US Army needs that one. But they're also told that the Germans are on the run, and that if any unit approaches them, it's most likely to surrender. Now fast forward, the crew finds the bridge, captures it, crosses over and establishes like a defense perimeter. But then they just wait. You know, they snack, they talk about the end of the war. They also know that reinforcements are on the way. And then they send Norman, the new guy, ahead as an observer in case any Germans want to surrender. Then all of a sudden, a German MG42 starts spraying them. Now they all run for cover. And in the meantime, another MG42 starts firing. The Americans have a very powerful weapon right there, which is Fury, their tank. But if they jump on the tank, they will get hacked down by the MG42. Now the tank crew is in trouble. You have the new guy that is isolated. The others are all pinned down. They can't use their tank, and all they have available are their personal weapons and perhaps a machine gun. They also have limited ammo. What do? This is where choice comes into play. Do they simply retreat and let this random bridge get blown up? Or do they hold on to it? Don convinces the crew to fight like in the original scene. And now there's the battle. And the first mission is to get Norman back. They use the surrounding houses as cover. Then one of them jumps on the Sherman to use the machine guns as suppressive fire. But while doing so, he gets shot. But he's not dead. He's wounded and yelling for his buddies to help him. Now we have a problem. You have Norman that is alone, and you have the other guy that's wounded. I'm not going to go in details, but at the end, the Germans withdraw. And everyone except Don is dead. Finally, he overhears the battalion commander on the radio. He's told the battalion has found another bridge more suitable for tanks. And because of that, the Germans are pulling back all over the place. Then he's also told that his crew can abandon the bridge and go back to refit. With that being said, this is what I believe would have been a more compelling ending to this movie. But what did you think of my analysis? Did I miss anything? Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're looking for real first-hand accounts of World War II from all sides, I recommend you my book, The Great Veterans Project. Link is in the bio.